regions and availability zones. Okay, so do you all agree that AWS has global infrastructure? We all agree that AWS has global infrastructure. And also forget about the rest of the places. At least in India, where is our AWS infrastructure is available? Mumbai. So guys, Mumbai, Hyderabad is very recently launched. Remember one thing, right? So whenever any new place that launched by AWS, the services are not much available very soon. Only few minimum services will be available. As moving on, all the services will be available. So let's consider Mumbai as a priority for us. Okay, we can go when we go to the practical. We'll go and see how the Hyderabad is infrastructure is working. Okay, for now let's go with Mumbai. Okay, or you can go Hyderabad also, no issues. Okay, so here let's say Mumbai. So Mumbai is a place where AWS has this infrastructure. So that is the infrastructure that we should be connecting it remotely, guys, for us. Yes, the places where the AWS has its infrastructure is called region. What is that today? Region. Region meaning what? Region is a place where AWS has its infrastructure. Simplest definition. So I'll write it here. Region is a place where AWS has its infrastructure. Region is a place where AWS has its infrastructure. That is called. So what does the region contains? Data centers. Fantastic. Fantastic. So a region has, okay, now you tell me, there will be only single data center or multiple data centers in region? What happens if you have single data centers? What is the issue? Yes, high availability issue, correct? So a region has multiple data centers. Very good. Okay. So here, what is a region, guys? I just said a region is a place where AWS has its infrastructure, correct? So in other words, we can say that in simple words, it's a geographical area. What is that? It's a geographical area. If someone asks you what is a region, you can say it's a geographical area. Example. So one can tell me one of the AWS region that we have just learned. It is Mumbai. So Mumbai is a geographical area, guys, right? So what is a region? You should say that region is a. You can also say that it's a geographical area, and also you can continue saying that it's a place where AWS has its infrastructure, where we'll be connecting it from remotely. And which is the place where AWS has the infrastructure in India? Mumbai. Understand? Getting it? So now we know what is region. A region meaning it's a geographical area. What did you just said? What does the region contains? What does the region contains? Data centers, no? So guys, data center is nothing but availability zone. So simply, a if someone asks what is availability zone, you can simply say that it's a data center, right? What is availability zone? Availability zone is a data center. Now understand the now you understand the relation between region and availability zone. The region contains availability zones. Correct? Region contains availability zone. Region contains availability zone. So here slowly, let's move on. A region has multiple data centers as said, right? So instead of data centers, can I say that a region has multiple, instead of data centers, what can I say? Availability zones, AZ. A region has multiple availability zones. Okay, a region contains availability zone. Availability zone is nothing but data center. What does the data centers contains inside? Inside the data centers, what do we have? What does it contains? Contains servers. What are the servers called? We call in AWS instances. So do you all agree the servers or these instances are placed in availability zones? Agree? You should not call data centers anymore. You should be calling it as availability zones. Getting it? Getting it, Chiti? Aram se, slowly, smooth as butter. Okay. So now I'll take a big AWS region. Big AWS region. AWS region. Let's say Mumbai. Okay. It's a AWS region, Mumbai. This is a region. So what does the region contains? Regions contains availability zones. So the question here is, how many availability zones does this Mumbai contain? So guys, remember, there are 3 availability zones that Mumbai, how many availability zones that Mumbai has? 3 availability zones. Right? 3 availability zones. Before I go a little bit here, so there are a few codes for regions. So for Mumbai, the region code is AP minus South minus 1. Write down everyone. What is the, this one should be in your mind. What is the Mumbai region code or name, API name? AP minus South minus 1. AP meaning Asia Pacific, South 1. AP meaning not Andhra Pradesh. So in Mumbai, as I said, how many availability zones are there? There are 3 availability zones, and those codes are AP minus South minus 1A. Write down AP minus South minus 1B, AP minus South minus 1C. So in shortcuts, you can call it as 1A, 1B, 1C. AP minus South minus 1A, 1B, 1C. So now can I call this as 1A availability zone? This is 1B availability zone, and this is 1C availability zone. So in Mumbai, how many availability zones are there? 3 availability zones. What does the availability zone contains? Servers. So we can go and place our servers over here. Yes or no? We can go and launch our servers here. Yes. So question. So if you ask me, so maybe you might have a question like how many servers I can go ahead here. There's how many servers you can go and launch? You can go and launch how many servers that you want. You can go and launch those many servers. No restrictions. Okay. Now you only tell me. So these availability zones should get these availability zones are interconnected as it is in the same region. Yes, definitely. Definitely. The network between this, the network between these availability zones are interconnected, right? Okay. Okay. Before I go a little bit deeper, you tell me these regions and availability zones are managed by, agree? Is it possible for us to go ahead and set up one region and availability zone? No. Regions and availability zones are managed by AWS. Remember our infrastructure as a service concept. Okay, question for you. If I launch one server here in 1A and if I launch another server in 1B, can both communicate with each other? Yes. So remember, availability zones can communicate with each other. Can communicate with each other by default. By default, it can communicate with each other. Okay. So do you all agree that I can say availability zones network are interconnected? Availability networks are interconnected. Okay. I'll come. Everything will get covered. Hold on. Now, question for you. So I said if I have one server in 1A, if I have another servers in 1B, another server in 1B, so they both can communicate. Now, if I put an image here in one server, the same image will be available in that another server? Answer is no. Guys, communication might happen, but the data will synchronize from here to here automatically? No. If at all, the communication is happening, right? You and your friend will talk to each other. That meaning by default, your money will be transferring from one account to your friend's account automatically because you have good connections? No. If required, if required, it can be. Otherwise, no. But default, no. So remember, availability zones are sync with each other, but not data. Correct? Availability zones are sync with each other. That meaning I'm talking about network, not data. Okay. Another question for you. See, guys, now I have asked you, that can you go and launch 10 servers, 10 instances in Mumbai? So now you tell me, will you go and launch all 10 servers in 1A like this? Hmm? Will you go ahead and launch all 10 servers in one availability zone? Answer is no. Why you said no? So just in case if 1A goes down, right, all your 10 customers are gone. So why to do like this? We distribute now this anyways, these are interconnected, right? So can I distribute like this, like 4 here, 4 here, and 2 here? I can split it up, no? Anyways, those are availability zones. Everything is in Mumbai, right? And they are interconnected. So you can consider that you go 4, you can put it here, 4, you can split, you can distribute, no? So guys, that is the best practice to distribute the instances across multiple availability zones. So best practice is to distribute the instances across multiple availability zones. Okay. Best example is, let's say you all guys went to a place for fun. Let's say 10 people are there. So guys, you went for fun and you booked a hotel, right? So all 10 members, will you go and stay in one room? No, no, they don't allow, right? So as it is in the same hotel, you can take 3 rooms and then you can share 4 4 2, no? Or however you want to share, you can share. If you share, that doesn't mean that there is no communication between you. No, you can come and access all the way to your friend's room, talk to him, and then go back. Right? Yes. So the best practice is to distribute the instances across multiple availability zones. Is it clear? Getting it till here, everyone? Now the question for you. Now you might have a questions that, sir, you said 1A might go down. See, this 1A is completely managed by AWS. Whatever the AWS is handling it, you tell me that will go very often? No. So it's a very, very, very less chance, very, very less chances that 1A, one availability goes down, right? Right, got it, guys? So it's very, very less chance that 1A, one availability goes down, right? It's very less chance. I have never seen it in these many years. So you're asking question to me, Samal. So guys, if you're asking question to me, put it as sir, comma, and then frame your question nicely so that when I read it, I can answer it immediately, right? There is a question. But if one VM goes down, we cannot migrate that VM to another availability zone, right? So I think you might have, you worked on virtualization concept. No. So VM will not automatically migrate from one availability zone to another availability zone. No, that is not a concept here. So AWS, we will go and launch one VM, or that meaning instance in one availability zone. You tell me the virtual machine or the guys EC2 instance will go down by any chance from AWS side? Answer is no. But whatever you have application inside it, that will go down. For that, you need to have a high availability concept. Remember that. Virtual machine will never go down. But whatever you put inside the virtual machine, that might go down. Vivekananda, right? So for that, whatever we have learned before the high availability, you need to practice. You need to enable that. That is the answer for you. Suppose a region has only one availability zone. We can get, who said? Shivam Gupta, any region will never have one availability zone, right? No region has one available, minimum 3, okay? Or minimum 2. Because AWS itself, if we cannot follow RMF, then what is the use? Sir, what is the disadvantage of having all the instances in one avail? That's what I'm sending, no? That's one Shavan. That's what I said. Okay. There are Indians, let's say, for example, I don't take India. Let's take some country, prime minister, all cabinet people, right? Or like, all higher officials, can they travel in one flight at a time to another country? Why? If that flight, something happened to the flight, right? All the higher officials are there, and who will be ruling that country? Security risk. Same thing. If you keep all the 10, it is possible you can go. I'm saying that it is possible here also. You can put 10 machines, no issues. It is possible. But just in case, this is one availability zone only, no? Just in case if it goes down, all your 10 machines will go down. That's what I meant. Yeah. Okay. Good. So I'll write it here. Instances across availability zones can share the data as availability zones are interconnected with network. Agree? Okay. I'll tell you. Okay. Now you might have one doubt like, sir, 1A goes down one day. Sir, why you're telling 1A goes down? So guys, I also said that it's very, very less chance that one availability zone goes down. Why? Let me tell. I always ask this question. So guys, I have learned from you, from students only. Guys, can you tell me few names in Mumbai? So I remember the other. I have never been in Mumbai, but to Mumbai, the other Andheri. I learned from you people. Aroli, Thane, Bandra, Kalyan. Okay, Vashi, Juhu, and Kurla. Okay, okay. Just imagine these are the places we have it in Mumbai. Correct? Okay. So this AWS is very smart. Just imagine he has put one data center in Dadar, another data center in Andheri, another data center in Naroli, and then he called the combination of all these data centers, he called it as 1A. Huh? And he has the data centers in Thane. All these combinations, he call it as 1B. And all this combination is called 1C. Now you tell me, is there any way that all the data centers will go down so that 1A is completely impacted or one availability zone is completely impacted? Now you tell me. Correct? So practically 1A will never go down. Just in case if something really shit happens. Understood? So don't keep in mind that 1A will go down or not. 1A, so 1A or 1B or 1C is not much a group of data centers. Correct? 1A or 1B or 1C has group of data centers. It will never go down. Right? So one availability zone is a group of data centers. So that's the reason why do not worry, 1A availability zone will never go down. So everything that we should be worrying it about our application. Okay. So application will go down or not. That's the reason why we have RMF and high availability concept, where we need to keep our application redundancy for on multiple servers, and how you will be architecting is the thing that we will be learning. Instance may go down. Did I say that instance will ever go down, guys? Instance will be always available for you. In my experience. So if you stop and start, your same instance will work. No issues at all. Instance will never go down, but application inside your instance will go down. Getting it, guys? All clear till here, everyone? Okay. So now question for you here is, now um, we are in India, correct? So we are in India. So which region that you will select in order to set up your servers? Mumbai. Will you go and select North Virginia or Tokyo? Why? Because you might have the latency issues, correct? So here in AWS cloud or any cloud, we will be mostly talking about latency. So there are two types of latency which we have low latency and high latency. Right? So you tell me here, low latency is good or high latency is good? Remember, low latency is good and high latency is bad. So those who don't know about this low latency and high latency, simple, for example, if you are opening your browser and you are typing google.com, so the google.com page should come within fraction of seconds to you, right? The response time should be very, 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 very less, correct? Whereas high latency meaning you open the Google and it is loading, 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 loading. It is not coming even for a minute or even for a 50 seconds or 30 seconds. What is that we call? That is called high latency. That is bad. So if your application, you, let's say for example, you are giving application to your customer and that the latency should be you should take care of, right? So the latency should not be more. It should be very, very, response time should be very, very less. Here also, right, if we are in India, it's always best to go ahead. Let's say, for example, all your customers are in India. So which region that you choose in order to set up your entire application and your entire infrastructure? Mumbai. Let's say, for example, you are in US and the customers are in US. So which is the region that you select? Yes, you have North Virginia, you have Ohio or East, West, you have different type of regions there, correct? So based on your customers located, you need to select that particular region in order to set up your own infrastructure there. Correct. There will be a reason. There should be a reason in order to select a region. You cannot blindly go ahead and select the region and have your applications there. There's question, sir, is latency depend on the region, how far from customers? Obviously, no. So you have your application, Prakash. We have the application here in Mumbai, and the US guy is all the way connecting it from US to here, and the customers are in US. So you tell me, for them it's a low latency or high latency? Because there is a huge high latency, no? So how to reduce this? If I have a customers throughout the globe, all these things we'll learn in coming days. We'll learn. Okay. Next question for you here is, I took an example of Mumbai region. So now I'll take another region here. I'll take another region. So let's say, for example, this is, let's say, assume this is Ireland. There is a region in Ireland. This is in another region. Okay. Now question here is, we know that two availability zones within the region can communicate with each other. Those are interconnected, guys. But two regions can communicate with each other by default? Answer is no. Answer is no. Two regions cannot communicate with each other by default. No network. These are all interview and certification questions. So the network by default is not connected. No. But By the way, this ABC, BBC, right? All these names I want immediately to be changed to your right names. Can you change put it your right names? If you don't put whatever the registration that you have done, I want to have the same names. You can click on it and you can rename by yourself. Okay, I don't like that names. That fellowship host, what is that? Remove that, your names, keep it proper names. Okay. So two regions cannot communicate by default. So guys, but if required, yes, we can make it connected. Remember that. So by default, they don't talk to each other, but if required, there is a topic we will be learning in coming days that yes, if for example, if two regions wants to talk to each other, we can set it up. But remember, by default, no. So guys, in Ireland also, we might have multiple availability zones, correct? In Ireland also, we can have multiple availability zones. Every region will have multiple availability zones. Some might have 3, some might have 4, some might have 6. It's purely depend upon the AWS. And all these intercommunicate with each other. Yes. All these intercommunicate with each other. And they might have named with 1A, 1B here also, 1C, and 1D like this. Right? And then if I remember, Ireland, it's U minus West minus 1. This is the region code. And 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D will be the availability zones there. Okay. Getting it? Now, question for you. EC2 instance is specific to availability zones. Okay, I have launched one EC2 instance here in Mumbai, right? And I have launched that same EC2 instance will be available in Ireland region. Answer is no. If I launch one EC2 instance in Mumbai and this availability zone, that will be there only. That will not be available anywhere else. So do you all agree that EC2 instance is specific to availability zone and region? Yes. So EC2 instance is specific to availability zone and region. So I'll write it here for you. Regions don't communicate with each other by default. If required, answer is yes. Is it clear till here, everyone? Any questions? Minimum availability zone, one region have. I didn't understand the question. Please reframe it. Any other questions? All clear? CC? Okay. Now you know what is region. Now you know what is availability zone. So now let's go back to that architectures. And now you see these architectures, right? Now you see these architectures. Can you tell me, guys, which one is highly available? Okay, see here, the main line, the outer line is AWS, the dotted line is availability zone, and these squares are EC2 instances. Now tell me which one is highly available, the top or bottom? Which is the answer? Excellent, guys. The bottom one is the answer. Before I go and talk about this, there are multiple questions that went up. Due to flood, the main regions are collapsed. How the data will be recovered? That is our job. That's not our job, right? So if the floods came, and then guys, that AWS will handle. No, why you are worried about it? So if flood comes and then entire data centers is gone, he might have his own high availability on the data centers and data. The data will be available for us. That's it. It's AWS risk, right? And there is another question. How can application can go down without going down the server? Guys, tell me, application will never go down if the server is mandatory, the server go down, server should go down. It is highly possible, and that is the main problem, that every time the server will be up, but application will always go down. Server will never go down generally, until less if the CPU and is high BP and sugar went up. There is a question, sir. Shravan, is there a mapping? Sir, is there a mapping where we can find which country is best for which availability in AWS, as the zone naming having east, west, and that's what I said. That's what I said. Shravan, okay, let me ask these people whether they understood or not. Guys, okay, there are almost 22 to 23 regions are there. Guys, you just born in AWS. Just now you came out, man. Macha, you just came out. How many regions are there? How many availability zones? How do I? We will go everything slow. We just stepped just now. Okay. Okay. In order to answer your question, so let's say, for example, we have 22, 22, 25 regions are there. Now your question is, sir, which region I need to select? Guys, did I answer that? Did we learn that already? We have learned that already. So wherever your customers are, you need to select the region which is nearer to them. Simple answer. Okay. That is your answer. Okay. If you got, okay, you got CC. All right. Good one. So guys, you all understood now. You clearly said now the bottom one is highly available. Okay. So here now you tell me. So why the bottom one is highly available? Because on top, do you see this? Only one availability zone is there. That's fine. But you see only one EC2 instance, single instance is there. Is it possible to have high availability with single instance? The redundancy itself is not there. So it's gone. So coming to the bottom one, you can see late more. Do you see these 4 arrow marks? What is that 4 arrow marks? I mean 3 arrow marks wala? Load balancer. So how many EC2 instances are there in one availability zone here? 2. In another availability zone, you have another 2, right? So load balancer is sending the traffic to, guys, here, see, we have a load balancer is specific to any availability zone? No. Load balancer is not specific to any availability zone. Load balancer is just created in the region, right? And then this load balancer has a capacity to send the traffic to multiple availability zones, correct? Correct, guys? Across multiple EC2 instances, correct? Yes. So we can keep the EC2 instance in different availability zones, and the load balancer has a capacity to send the traffic across availability zones, across instances here. Chiti, clear? So there, I'll write it here for you. The definition, load balancer can distribute the traffic to multiple EC2 instances across availability zones. If someone asks you what is load balancer, this is the exact line that you should tell. Load balancer can distribute the traffic to multiple EC2 instances across availability zones. So load balancer is specific to region, not availability zone. Okay, correct, guys? Understood? Okay. Before I go show this architecture, I need to put one more thing here for you. Very important. Okay. So now I have few people here. Let's say here is Avinash, and we have who is that? Give me some names, guys. Ali Bhai. We have Suresh. We have Radha. Okay. We have Priyanka. Okay. We have few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's fine. So now we have these people, and they wanted to go and set up their EC2 instance in AWS. So that's why they came here. This is our AWS, the big guy. Okay. So this AWS is public cloud or private cloud? AWS is public cloud. Okay, this is public cloud. Now they came. Now first guy Avinash came. Avinash came and launched his instances here. Avinash came and launched instances here. Okay. Okay. Now Ali came and then launched instances here. Same way, Suresh came and launched the EC2 instances. Likewise, Radha or Priyanka, they both came and then launched the EC2 instances like this. Okay, they launched the EC2 instances. Now tell me, these EC2 instances are lying over there in AWS public cloud. Guys, as it is public cloud and as they have launched the EC2 instances, guys, isn't it danger that they can talk to each other as those are in public? Isn't it danger? So the thing is here, so they went and launched the EC2 instances thinking AWS is the public cloud. Yes, AWS is the public cloud, but they cannot keep their instances open so that other people can connect like this. Is that good? They connect like this? No. For that reason, guys, AWS came up with something very important. Even though AWS is public cloud, you can go and set up your stuff which is private to you. So you can have your private stuff. No one can come and then connect. Right? You can have your own private stuff. Right? If you have the private stuff like this, does anyone come and do anything for you? No. So like this. So guys, these are all clouds only, no? We are doing everything in the cloud. So these are all virtual or physical, that what we are doing. Virtual or physical. So everything is virtual. The one which we have designed is private or public? Private. And that is cloud. And this is a very important topic, which we call it as VPC. What is that? VPC, write down virtual private cloud. So any customer, if you want to come and set up his own infrastructure, his entire infrastructure should be within the private cloud, within the VPC, right? Everything, whatever you set up should be within your own VPC, right, within your own VPC. So guys, can two VPCs can talk to each other now by default? No, they cannot talk to each other by default. No. Everyone understood what is VPC? So VPC is a security for every customer, all the VPCs. We can create, guys, in one region, you can create how many VPCs? 5 VPCs you can create. How many VPCs in one region you can create? 5 VPCs you can create. Getting it, everyone? So one region can have multiple VPCs? One region, not per customer. Yes. One region can have multiple VPCs. How many? Maximum 5. So I'll give another worst example if you want to recollect. So guys, you might have gone to airports, to the washroom areas, correct? Or in India, those who have not been into the airport, you might have went to Sulabh complex. Do you know Sulabh complex? Yes or no? Sulabh complex or some washroom if you take. I don't like right there. Okay. So inside you, if you go inside, so they might have their own compartments, correct? Everyone have their own compartment. So there will be a different compartments. Agree? Okay. So guys, you come here, any customer comes, you go inside this. So guys, even though Sulabh complex or your washroom area is public, isn't it public? Yes, even though it is public, but when you go inside it, you have your own private area, correct? So each compartments are like VPCs. It's in your own private area. You can do whatever you want to do, you can do. Okay. So now you tell me, these two compartments will talk to each other, these two people, very worst, right? No. But if you have your friend, you both went like this. If you have your friend, then Macha, is it done? Can we go? Ho gaya kya? Right? If required, yes. The same thing here also in VPCs. Two VPCs cannot talk to each other, but if required again, yes. But I'm telling you, you went inside the VPC, you created a VPC in AWS. So if you create a VPC, you cannot make your hands free, thinking that, okay, now I am in VPC, no one will touch me. I'll give you a best example. You went inside this VPC, you went inside this compartment, and then thinking that I am safe, but you didn't put the lock. Are you safe? Is it secure? No, right? Same way here also in AWS, even though you are in VPC, right? So AWS will give you the locking system. You should be using that locking system in order to secure it. So everything AWS will give you, you should be using it. VPC, AWS will give you, you create it. And security, AWS will give you, you use it. So by default, nothing will come just like that, like how you have. So you put the lock, you will be secure. If you don't put the lock, even though you are in private, you might become public later. Understood? So just imagine this is like the whole thing is AWS and each compartment will be like a VPC. Understood now? So now let me put the whole overview of this. Okay, do you see this? So on the top, on top we have AWS. Inside the AWS, what is the first thing that we need to select? A region, correct? Region. Inside the region, what do we have? VPC. Correct. Inside the VPC is what we have? Availability zones. Right. Inside the availability zones, what do you create? You go and create the EC2 instances. How many you want? You can go and create the EC2 instances. Guys, virtual private network is just only the network. Okay. You can use the network across availability zones. Right. I know you might have this question. See here. See here, guys. I'll make this pretty clear. This is your entire region. You don't have any confusion on the region, no? This is the region. How many availability zones are there in each region? In this Mumbai region, for example, okay, now we have 3. Okay, 1, 2, and 3 we have, no? So now I went and launched the EC2 instances inside this. Can I launch one EC2 instance here? Can I launch one EC2 instance here? Can I launch one EC2 instance here? Yes. So we can launch. So guys, you might have okay. So you might have only one VPC, correct? Only one VPC covering all these 3 availability zones, correct? You can have only one VPC. Okay. Otherwise, you can also do like this. You launch one EC2 instance here, here, here like this. And can you have set up your own VPC only among this? Right? This can be another VPC. Right? Like this, how many VPCs? The VPC is nothing but separate network. So you can use the multiple availability zones. You can form that network. Okay. Understood? How the VPCs are spread across multiple availability zones? Like this in Mumbai region, how many VPCs you can create? 5 VPCs you can create. Everyone understood? Now you see this diagram, guys. So on the top we have AWS. Inside the AWS, the next is region. Inside the region we have the VPC. Right? Inside the VPCs you have one dotted availability zone. Inside the availability zone you have the servers. Now you tell me this architecture is highly available or not? Is it highly available? Yes or no? Fantastic. It is not highly available because how many instances are there? Only one. Remember, even though it is in VPC, even though it is in availability zone, even though it is in everything, but your EC2 instance, there is no redundancy there. So no high availability. Now tell me this. Yes, it is high availability. Correct. So you have a load balancers, you have 2 availability zones, and you have, guys, what is this 4 arrow mark represent? That 4 arrow marks represent auto scaling. Can you have auto scaling? That meaning between, I told you we have a load balancer and we have the EC2 instances, and that EC2 instance can be in auto scaling, correct? So which are spread across availability zones. Fantastic. Okay, now this. Highly available? Yes, it is super high available. So what is the difference between the previous one and this one? In the previous one, we had only 2 availability zone, and the bottom one you have 3 availability zones. Guys, understood? So can you set up the high availability with single availability zone? Yes, possible. 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 But is it recommended? No. So how many availability zones minimum for the best practice in order to set up high availability? Minimum 2. And 3, it's good. Remember, if you keep on increasing the high availability, your cost will also get increased because the number of resources we need to add more. Correct? City, everyone understood? Clear? Now, without entering into AWS itself, now you are easily finding out which is high availability and which is not high availability. That is the power of theory and logic that we have learned. Okay. So guys, it is allowed for you to take the screenshots, but I'm telling you it is not allowed for you to do the recordings because everything is getting tracked. So the previous students, they didn't listen and they're facing legal issues unnecessarily. So please don't be into those kind of legal issues. I'm very more concerned on you. Don't think that no one is watching you. So it is bloody Zoom. So whatever you do, all the packet networks, they have a separate team for it. So please don't be in that unnecessarily. Don't be into that areas, please. So take the screenshots. It's fine. Any questions, guys? Meanwhile, take the screenshot and let me know once done. So from tomorrow, what we're gonna do is you are now super cool in all the basics, and from tomorrow we'll be jumping into the services. Per region, Babu, Prakash, not per customer. No, Nikita. Check with the admin, Sureka. You're facing some logging issues. I am okay. If you hold on, guys, hold on. Okay, so you can call me that guy Rajesh, your admin, when you get this. So until you get habituated, I'll wait for 5 to 10 minutes. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay. Next, what is that, Nagarjuna? How many EC2 VMs can create in one region? Why you need those things, Babu? Okay, let them answer, guys. What? How many EC2 instances you can create in one region? What is your answer? Multiple. Next, for high availability, what are the application servers will be supported? What are the application servers will be supported? What is your answer? Many, any kind of applications it support, doesn't matter. And web server names, applications database. What? ఏంది బాబు ఏమైంది నాగార్జున what is that? I understood two questions. What is a web server names, application server names, database servers names? What is that? You want to know what do we put inside that? It is too early for you, so just hold on. Okay, you will get you will get. So yeah, see, people are answering it. So sorry. Yes, you have WebLogic, WebSphere, Apache. See, people are there. And then Tomcat for application server, for the database, MS SQL, Oracle server. So many are there. So based on the requirement, we'll be using it. Raju, what is the use of it? There is a question. Is it possible to have duplicate EC2 instance in different availability zones? Duplicate EC2 instance meaning duplicate application, correct? That is itself, we call it as redundancy, no? Got it? Sir, why the different region will not connect with each other by default? Why? That is a limitation put by AWS. Two regions, that's what I said by default. How come two regions? Okay, now tell me, you want to go, who is that? Gyayendra. You want to go from here to US. By default, can you travel just like that without visa? You can travel if required, yes, but you need to have a proper visa. And if you ask a question, why I cannot travel to US directly, that is a rule that you have put here. Also, that is a rule that AWS has put. The two regions cannot talk to each other by default, but if required, yes. So multiple VPCs for an customer X in one availability can communicate, which two VPCs cannot communicate, I said Khan by. If required, yes again. Okay. If VPC is regional level, how can we keep each customer's data from others supported? That is the architecture that you should be using it. Generally, for one customer, it's always recommended to have one account. So you cannot have one account, all customers putting inside it. It's not a good practice, but you can have few, but 100 customers you cannot be handling one account. Prakash, you'll go mad. How to identify AP1A1? So hold on, Chandru. When we go deeper, you'll get to know. We no need to identify. So while launching the AC2 instance, they'll ask you want to select 1A, 1B, or 1C in drop down. So you need to select. What happened, Babu, for this diagram? This diagram, I said, okay, see here, what were you doing while I'm explaining? So here you have a region. Okay, in region, you have three availability zones in blue color. Okay, 1A, 1B, 1C. Then if you are launching the C, remember, there is, okay, I've launched an EC2 instance in 1A, 1B, and 1C, 1111. So every EC2 instance should be inside the VPC, no? Yes or no? Every EC2 instance should be in one VPC, no? Because otherwise, every resource should be in one VPC. So you can form your own VPC, thinking that, okay, let's say people said that, sir, I need two different networks, two different customers, for example. So you can create one VPC and then put all your EC2 instance in that VPC. And in that VPC, your EC2 instance can be in 1A, in 1B, and 1C. You create another VPC in another different network, right? Another VPC. And inside that, you have 1A, 1B, and 1C. EC2 instance can be spread across it. So logically, you are separating it. Just like you have a home and you have multiple bedrooms, correct? You can ignore that, Srividya. In one home, you have multiple bedrooms, correct? So each bedroom is isolated, but still you are in the same room, but they can communicate with each other, correct? Understood? That you need to hold on. Guys, I'm telling you, guys, we are in the basics. You're asking so many questions which I need so much of explanation. So please hold on, everything will be covered. Shraddha, this is for you. Sir, running notes not shared, sir. Running notes, how do I share running notes? No need of running. Take my pains, that is fine. But if you want to handle your own notes, you can write it. But I can share the PPTs also soon, once the batch is fixed. You're asking same questions, yeah, again and again. There is another question. Can one VPC from one region can communicate to other VPC from different regions? What is your answer?